Folks, new day, a new dev diary. Now this is not a big one on paper, but I think it's huge. Let's get right into it with the small features they are announcing coming with the patch. So not DLC features, patch features for everyone. First one up here, this is probably, besides the special projects, besides the focus trees, this is the biggest thing they'll do, the biggest thing they've done in years. They are changing the AI in a profound way. So the way AI works now, there's a couple examples here. Right now, the AI will take all its troops, park them on all the hostile borders so that it feels like it's got them covered. If it has reserves, it will use those to guard victory points, supply hubs, and I believe naval bases. And that's about it. That's about it. What is being changed now? They are giving the AI the ability to use force concentration. Now, what does that mean? Well, the AI is now going to calculate how many troops do I need for all my hostile fronts. It will try to fill those. Then it will go, do I need critical reserves? And it will try to cover those. But then it makes a separate calculation. How many troops can I realistically spare and still have a credible defense? It will peel its defense down, or its front lines down, to its more basic levels where it feels like this will probably hold, and everything else it will put together in a massive fist and use that to punch you in the throat. See, that's what AI never does, at least not on live. It attacks everywhere at once with the same amount of pressure. It doesn't prioritize anything. It doesn't concentrate troops. It will now. Let's take a look at it. What the AI is supposed to be doing from the next patch onwards is take that reserve that it can spare, concentrate them somewhere. To know where to concentrate, it makes a few more calculations. It is an AI. Is going to take the troops that have the best equipment, the highest speed, the best stats. It will take its big stats. So think tanks, motorized, armored, that sort of thing. It will put those together into a death ball, and then it's going to look for the best terrain. It's going to evaluate the player's front lines or another AI's front lines and see, where is this guy the weakest? Okay, it has 2 divisions per tile in that section instead of 4. That's where I'm going to concentrate. And then it makes a terrain evaluation. Okay, so if this is mountains, so it might actually be easier if I use this plains corridor to attack. Then it makes more, they thought about this. Then it makes more calculations. Where are the railways? Where are the supply hubs? I have to be attacking in that direction so I don't get myself stuck in zero supply terrain and become easily encircled. So they're going to make the AI think about where to attack, giving the ability to attack by using its strongest units to be concentrated. And I think this is going to be massive. For the last 8 years, we've been dancing circles around the AI because you know what it's gonna do, you know its limitations. Every time Paradox changes what those limitations are, we have a whole new game because we have to learn from scratch what the AI is gonna do. I love it. I am here for it. This is massive. This is going to make the AI potentially a dangerous opponent, especially on the higher difficulties. Oh, it's gonna make the Zelo Heights mod impossible. Oh no. And they've actually given them the ability, or will give them the ability, to change their mind. It's going to track how well one of its force concentration attacks is doing. So I'm trying to push here. I don't seem to be getting anywhere, and the AI will actually stop. If it goes well, it's going to keep pushing. If it fails to make any progress towards one of its targets, it's going to sooner or later decide that, oh, this is not working out. Let's try something else. This will most likely, or at least hopefully, stop the AI from continuously killing themselves against the front line they will never breach. I'm looking at you, Soviet Union. Looking at you. And they're making all of this fully moddable. So I am looking forward to see what players can do with this. Expert AI is about to have the upgrade of a lifetime. A little flavor, but depending on what doctrine a nation takes, along with maybe some historical precedents, it will decide how aggressively the AI is going to use that force concentration. For instance, a Germany AI with a lot of tanks and mobile warfare doctrine is going to make use of a very aggressive armored fist to try and punch holes through lines. Not gonna lie, this is almost as exciting as seeing Belgium get a focus tree. Speaking of exciting, new changes to transports. Transports, what do I care about transports? Maybe you will now. So transports in the current game is just an airplane, and it will never change. They are now adding technology to it. So you will have several tiers. Let's see here. We have, for instance, 3 tiers of aircraft, each having a progressively longer range, making it easier or more effective at supplying your troops and delivering your paratroopers. Now, I don't know if the effectiveness of supply will increase, because right now it's not really the best, but maybe with a high-level airplane and enough of them, you could potentially supply those troops stuck in Stalingrad like Goering promised. I don't trust that man. Don't trust the man. But maybe if we give him the enough Ju-352s, who knows? Who knows? And on the subject of change, forts. Forts are also being changed. So right now, fort level is just 0 to 10 from the start, and that's it. Moving forward, base level of forts you can build is going to be significantly reduced. But to compensate, they will add technology to research. The higher technology level, the more forts you can build. This is probably going to prevent some super cheese strats, yes, but it's also going to make sure that you will not have everyone get impenetrable fort lines to lean on, because static fortifications are not going to save your bacon. They're just not, and I like that they're finally changing this a little bit. So, depending on the terrain you have, they lay it out here, the base level of fort will be lower. It's easy to build in plains, that's why it gets the highest starting level 5. And, you know, a swamp, it's pretty difficult to put a bunker up in a swamp and not have it sink. That's why it has the lowest level of 3. And then as you get more of these new technologies, you can build higher level forts, you can build higher level naval forts. Honestly, I like it. That said, I don't think anyone needs to be crying over this. No one in their right mind should be building level 10 forts. For one, the AI refuses to attack level 10 forts. Why even build them? You're trying to wear the AI down. They are a massive investment of IC. Anyone saying, but they're not that expensive? They are. They definitely are. You're better off building military factories to supply more troops that can actually do something. But as an aside, the base level of 5 is more than sufficient to have a significant impact on combat, even if you don't do any of the techs. It will significantly increase your defensiveness. I'm not here to lecture you, so let's see what else we have. Right, so this is what it's going to look like. You have a base of level 5, because this is an urban tile, which gets level 5 forts. Well, maximum of level 5 forts. And then as you get improved land forts and basic fortifications, that adds 1 level each, giving you a 7. A potential maximum of 10, current maximum of 7. Fair enough. More little changes that are not as impactful, but actually really make sense now you think about it. Command power. So the command cap is like what? 150, 100, 120? I keep forgetting what it is because I never look at it. But what I do know is when you appoint an officer corps, your high command, each one of those costs 20, 30 command power. No more. What is going to happen now is the base cap is going to be lowered, but all those people you hire, instead of costing you command power, is going to raise the cap. So effectively, as you build out your high command, your army actually gets a benefit in terms of its command power. Its ability to direct its forces increases as you build out a high command, as opposed to being permanently hamstrung by a massively reduced command power cap because you decided to actually hire a high command. I never understood why it wasn't like this in the first place, but thank you. Thank you. It's minor, it's small, but it makes sense and I'm here for it. Things that make sense. Dams. So dams are being added. As far as I can tell, they're not a building you can build. You might get some through a focus here and there, but they're not a building you can see on a map. They are a province modifier. So let's, like here, where it says state modifiers, I believe that's where the dams are going to show up. And what they do is nothing is set in stone, work in progress, and no numbers are known, but they will speed up building. They will increase factory output. And I believe there are other benefits as well, but the majority of the benefit, I think resource extraction as well. So they, I believe, don't quote me on this, they will make building faster, factories have a higher output, and resources will have a higher output. So they are definitely worth getting. Now, that said, we saw earlier dev diaries where dams are mentioned to be prone to getting blown up. We might want to defend those because I imagine if the dam goes, those factories might be a bit wet. Wet factories don't make good guns. Fun little things. Landmarks are being added onto the map. We have glorious Big Ben here until an Italian tank rams it and brings it crashing down. These are going to be added on map. They will give a small bonus to the country who originally owns them. The UK has its Big Ben. I assume Germany might have its Brandenburg Tor or the Reichstag. We have the Statue of Liberty for the US. We have the Eiffel Tower for Paris. Anyway, small bonuses to the countries who originally own them. Taking them will not transfer the bonus to the occupier, which makes sort of sense. It will simply strip the bonus away from the original owner. So it's not massive, but it's a nice little touch. It adds a little bit of personality to the map and to each country. Speaking of countries, this is not massive, but it helps. So they are changing the layout of this window. They're splitting things between the state level up top and the specific tile down on bottom. So when you select a tile, let's say you select Brussels, which is a single tile in the Flanders state. You get all the state information up here. So this is how many factories there are, etc., etc., etc. And down here, for the specific tile you've selected, there is additional information. How is the weather here? How many victory points are there? Forts, which are on a per tile basis, are laid out here, and eventually supply hubs as well. These sort of things are then down here. This isn't huge, but it makes it much easier to read at a glance. I welcome this. And this is probably one of my pet peeves they're finally listening to. They are changing how area defense works. So you take an army, you assign it to area defense because, for instance, you want to guard your ports, but you don't want to micromanage it. By default, all of the options are selected, and you have to go through, I have to undo all of these except for the port guards. Okay, and if you forget, your army is hopelessly spread out. Not anymore. We are getting two changes. First off, the default state of every button is to be turned off. So you only have to click one thing instead of 6 to get what you want. Thank you. Secondly, there will be new orders for the area defense. I believe they are adding border guards. So like a front line, only working through area defense. Not sure how useful that's going to be. Unless it stops the AI from immediately counterattacking, I don't see an immediate use for this. We'll have to see. But they're also adding the specific ability to guard supply hubs. So currently it tries to guard all the railways and the supply hubs. Now this setting will specifically say and specifically target supply hubs and naval bases. I guess naval bases? I'm not really sure. Anyway, to guard supplies. It's going to be mostly helpful for the AI. And then the ability to guard your new special project sites. Small things. I don't have to guard those because I don't intend my front line to be breached, but they are there, and I believe the AI is going to make good use of them. And if not, I'll find a way to use them as well. So happy I don't have to click 7 times to get what I want. Another main feature, the absolute peak feature of this DLC, they changed the color of the horses. They are no longer all the same color. No, there will be black horses, brown horses, tan horses, maybe even gray speckled horses. So like the landmarks, this just adds personality. Like, it's a nice personal touch by a dev. This doesn't sell copies. This is not impactful to anyone in any way. But it's a nice personal touch. Somebody thought this was worth their time and effort, and they went and did it. I like that. It shows that people who work on this game care. Anyway, that's the end of this dev diary. This one is a bit shorter. It highlights less known features. Nonetheless, they are still important features. If any of this interests you, if you're hyped for this DLC, check out my link down below. It will take you to the Paradox store where you can pick up a Steam key for the same price as Steam. The only difference is I get paid a commission and we all win. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoy this video. Hope you'll enjoy the next one as well. See ya.